Hello, you are watching a presentation on the proposed school budget for Regional School Unit 4 that will be presented at the district budget meeting on May 18th, 2022 at Oak Hill High School at 6:30 p.m. What you see on this slide is the historical town valuations for the three towns that make up RSU 4. What's important to know is that valuation plays a significant role in the funding we receive from the state through the Essential Programs and Services funding model. As you can see, throughout our three towns, the valuations have risen significantly over the last few years. Over the last 7 years, all of our towns' valuations are up over 25% from where they were in fiscal year 2017. As you know, general purpose aid through the Essential Programs and Services funding model plays a large role in what the impact of our budget is to our three local towns. EPS number is made up of two different dollar amounts. One is the EPS state share, and the other is the EPS required local share. Basically, what that means is to get the state share, the three towns must raise at a minimum the EPS required local share. On this slide, you will see the last 6 years of expenditure budgets in RSU 4. I think it's important to note that the expenditure side of the budget is only up 4% over the course of these 6 years, or an average of 0.67% per year. This slide shows the impact to local taxes over the last 5 budgets. If you will note, over the last 5 years, our impact to the three towns is down across the board. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the proposed 2022-2023 expenditure budget. So this budget that's proposed for the district budget meeting is at $21,291,591, or an 8.87 increase over fiscal year 22, which equates to $1,734,106. The question really is, how did we get here? So of the 1.7 million, the increases are really in the following areas. Salaries and benefits equates to $1,498,576 of the increase, which includes all salaries negotiated through collective bargaining, as well as the addition of 2 new positions, and the increases to things like health insurance, dental insurance, Medicare, and things like that. Also, we're looking at potentially a 57% increase to our fuel costs. I'm not sure at this point that's enough, but that was our projection when we started this budget process. Finally, all other costs, which include maintenance, transportation, instructional supplies, etc., equate to around $75,000. As you can see, the majority of the increase is in contracted salary and benefits. So, what are those things that impact those pieces beyond salary and benefits? First of all, there are 2 new positions in this budget. Certainly we know the cost of doing business is up across the board, in our homes, in our businesses, everywhere. Rising fuel costs, telephone, electricity costs, supply costs, and labor. And when salaries go up, the contributions to things like Maine PERS, FICA, and Medicare all go up. There are some things that must happen in this budget cycle, including a new kitchen floor at Oak Hill High School, as we had a food service audit this year, and that is a must-do before we are audited again. A new tractor at Oak Hill Middle School, which the total cost is around $38,000, but the board made the decision to do a lease purchase, so the increase of the budget is around $10,000. We have a steamer in the kitchen at Oak Hill Middle School that is non-functional but is necessary and needs about $17,000 in replacement. We need to replace the antifreeze system in the sprinkler system at Oak Hill High School, as it is not going to meet code. The two positions in the budget are an ELL educational technician, as our numbers of students that are English language learners has gone up, as well as a new educational technician for gifted and talented, as I believe our gifted and talented population is way underserved. There's an increase in costs in special education, instructional and technology supplies, as well as property and casualty insurance is projected to be up 10%. We also have the opportunity to access E-rate money from the federal government, but to get that money, we need to spend 20% of the cost. So we are going to upgrade the high school wireless network. What that will mean is we'll be able to use the wireless network there in portions of our other buildings. This certainly was a hard budget across the board, as we know that it is a significant increase in comparison to the last 5 or 6 years. However, the board did cut some things from the original proposal. First was a half-time secretarial position at central office for the director of operations. They cut the full purchase of the tractor and decided to do a 3-year lease purchase. Our health insurance costs, we projected at 10%, and they came in at 9%. So we were able to cut about $25,000 from the budget there. And we were able to move about $100,000 in one-time technology costs to our federal funds. So in total, the board, from where the original administration proposal was to now, cut $181,361 from this budget. So I'm sure the million-dollar question now is, what is the direct impact to the towns from fiscal year 22 to this proposed budget? As you can see on this slide, what this will mean is an increase in Litchfield from FY22 to FY23 of $508,000, in Sabattis $584,000, and Wales $224,000. I think it's important to note to look at what the impact is on a $100,000 valued home. Obviously, I know that a lot of homes in our towns are valued at significantly higher than $100,000, but we always use $100,000 as an easy way to do a multiplier. You can see those impacts here. They are higher than they have been in the past, but monthly, they round out to Litchfield, $9.48 per month, Sabattis, $16.62 per month, and Wales, $15.04 per month. It's important to note that these are estimates, as towns still have not set their mill rates, but knowing what we currently know, this is the estimate for our 3 local towns. There are some things that were not put into this budget that are still really important for people to understand. So, first of all, a paving project at Oak Hill High School. This is nearly $250,000 project, but if anybody has been to the high school lately, the high school parking lot is in desperate need of repair. Also, central office parking lot is in desperate need of repair. As you can see, those are almost $300,000 in paving projects that the administration did not put in this budget, but is something we really need to look at in future years. We talked briefly about the cut of the secretary for director of operations. We originally asked for a half-time position. However, it really could be a full-time position, as that position requires a ton of state reporting, mileage reporting, and things like that. Currently, we have a nurse in every one of our buildings. However, one of those nursing positions is paid out of some federal grant funds. Our nursing needs have gone up significantly over the last few years. Kids have more and more complex medical needs, as well as the need to dispense medications. Also, the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic has pointed out that the health in our communities is way underserved, and so we provide a valuable service to our towns. We have a significant amount of gifted and talented students in RSU4, and currently We employ a full-time teacher for gifted and talented for K through 12. This budget put in an EdTech 3 to help service that, but realistically, we could use another teacher to help service our gifted and talented population, as I believe it is way under service. Currently, we only have one custodial position at Sabattis Primary and Libby Tozier on second shift to do the night cleaning. This is a large undertaking for our custodial staff and leaves a person alone in a building each night. It would be more efficient to add 2 positions to the budget, but we just could not support it at this time. I think it's well known that Libby Tozier and Sabattis Primary need a lot of work. And when I say a lot of work, they need a lot of work to continue to house students into the future. As you all may be aware, the board has hired an architect, and we are planning for an expansion at the middle school to go from 5 buildings to 3. However, if that does not go, these 2 buildings are going to need nearly $20 million worth of work to bring them to a place to continue to house students for long term. Lastly, as you may have heard at a recent budget meeting, the behavior in our buildings has become significant. And so we looked at potentially adding behavior interventionists at all of our buildings, but the cost was large, and at this point in time didn't feel like it would be supported, and so they were left out. All of these things are a necessity, however, are not put in the budget due to the size and impact of this year's budget. Lastly, I want to make you all aware that the district budget meeting will be held again this year. As you know, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we have not held it for the last 2 years, and so we will be returning to that process. The district budget meeting is a place where residents can come out and potentially make alterations to the budget should it garner enough support. The district budget meeting this year will be held at Oak Hill High School on May 18th, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. We hope to see you there. Thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation.